TeenSpeak. Empowering today's youth. The purpose of TeenSpeak is to allow teens a safe space to share stories and strategies around challenges and inspire other teens on how to meet their own challenges or make their mark in our world. They are simply here to share a story and experience in hopes it inspires others to be the best version of themselves and make the impact they desire in the world.
Welcome to TeenSpeak, Empowering Today's Youth, a podcast about teens, for teens, and starring teens. I am Antwaun Thompson, or Coach T in North Carolina.
And I am Coach Keith in New York.
And we are youth leadership and empowerment coaches, and we interview young people from across the country and around the world, actually. And our guest today is a returning guest. She did such a great job. Not only did we want to have her back on, she wanted to come back on. And she's also the first one to acknowledge that Keith and I are celebrities. So we couldn't say no to her. So we are excited to have Anvita Ambardekar back with us. And Anvita, first and foremost, thank you so much for wanting to come back on. And we hope that you're doing well and had a great Thanksgiving. Yes,
thank you for having me. Hope your Thanksgiving was well, too.
It was.
Quick, but good.
You say quick, but good. Yeah, so interesting, Keith. You said you had a good Thanksgiving. I was telling Anvita that I, only ate about 3 ounces of turkey, but about 5 pounds of everything else. I'm really big into fixings.
That sounds about like me. I'm not a turkey guy. This is not my. I love the holiday for family, but not for the turkey.
Yeah. Well, Anvita didn't have any turkey at all, and tell them why.
I'm vegetarian.
She's vegetarian. Well, let's get cranking here, because the reason Anvita is wanting to talk with us again is because we're talking about digital and online safety. And I know one of the things that she wanted to talk about was the real versus fake. But before we do that, Anvita, tell everybody what you do and why this is important to you.
Sure. So I am the annual public relations intern for a nonprofit called Digital for Good. We're just changing over from hashtag I Can Help to being Digital for Good. We are committed to empowering youth with the knowledge and education to combat cyberbullying and just be good digital citizens. I think in this increasing world of technology and social media, it's important that we understand the reality of this digital realm and how we can combat the risks and make sure that we're being safe and good citizens online.
How would you define a good digital citizen?
Not approving of negative content or post things that are positive about your life, but post what's real. Don't make it overhyped just for your followers or because you want to get the likes. Social media is a platform for you to share with your friends and with your family what's going on with your life. It's not about whether people give you likes or they comment you or they follow you. You're just trying to share what's happening in your life with the people who maybe don't live so close to you that you don't see or talk to every day.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, I think that is 100% correct. And we were talking before about the irresponsibility of some people with the random texts or emails and people understanding what's real and what isn't, which kind of leads into a big part of what you wanted to talk about. And that is about what's real and what's fake. And would love for you to kind of share your insight into that and why that's important to talk about.
Yeah. So obviously anyone can be on the internet, on any social media website or app, and they can post anything they want. There's no, of course there's guidelines, but no one's obligated to follow them. So there's especially with the AI technology now, with things like Photoshop and just AI being able to develop images, people can make anything come to life in an image, and it's ultimately it's up to you whether you're going to believe it or not. So you want to make sure that is it really real? What account is it coming from? On Instagram, they have the blue check mark for celebrities or larger accounts, which is like a good way to like know if it's real, and then make sure that, you know, it comes from a believable source, that it's not some random account with like, you know, sometimes like if it's a celebrity, you can tell by the number of followers because they would like by logic have a lot. But I mean, accounts can also get hacked, which is where it kind of becomes difficult sometimes to tell if something is real or fake, because like hacking is so common now that it happens to so many people, and you know, you can't tell if it's that person or someone else sending things because all you see is a screen and you don't know who's behind that screen. So
Yeah.
like you want to make sure that you're, you know, if you see someone post something and you're like, that's not like them, then like reach out to them on like a different platform, not wherever they posted, to make sure that, you know, like, is it really you or is it someone else?
Yeah. You know, so interesting. I would ask you this question as a teen, because, you know, working with teens, right? Antwaun and I, we talk
Mhm.
about this a lot, right? And one of the things I think we both probably agree on is how manipulative these websites are, like TikTok and Instagram, especially, right? As far as, you know, sending sending the information that you are looking for, but right,
Yeah.
you only get one piece of information, right? So it's
Mhm.
like, what, as a teen, right? If you had the CEO, right? If you had Mark Zuckerberg in front of you, or you know, the head of TikTok sitting in front of you right now, what would you tell him? How would you share, you know, how that upsets you and how disappointing that is, and what you'd want to see different from them?
I mean, from my perspective, you know, I think social media like is a platform for like just to connect over long distances. Like that's what it was originally made for, to help people share things over long distances. But like of course there's misuse of it, but you really have to weigh the risks and the benefits, like and I think the benefits outweigh the risk, but I think some companies could take more precautions, and like I know they're implementing them now, that like they have the where they like block people or ban accounts and you can report accounts. But I think like also a lot of apps, social media apps, have age limits, but those aren't like very strictly enforced. Like, you know, like people can just put a fake birthday and be on that app. And I think that's something that should be enforced, because like there's an age limit for a reason. Because like now you see like, you know, like fifth graders on TikTok or Instagram, and it's like I think Instagram is rated for like 13 or 16 plus, and I mean, that's there for a reason, because there's like so many things that can happen, like just people sending you spam messages. And like at that young of an age, if you're not like educated about, you know, like what can happen, it's not like you don't want it to happen to anyone, but it does. So like if you're not educated, especially at a young age, you're not gonna like, you're gonna just believe everything you see, like fake stuff, you're gonna believe it, and then that can have consequences.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective because as you were explaining that, it got me thinking about some of the things that I've seen on TikTok. Because when you do searches and you kind of look through topics or things of that nature, I'm even surprised by some of the videos that I see of underage kids doing, I wouldn't say necessarily inappropriate, but probably not wise things on a platform like that, that somebody could potentially, you know, send an inappropriate message, because I'm sure Keith has gotten, I know I have, somebody sees what you do, they send you a spam message, or they try to entice you to go on WhatsApp to, you know, to chat with them, which obviously first thing I do is block that. But I think to your point about parents being responsible and teaching their kids about digital safety and awareness is really important, because I think a lot of kids aren't aware because they're excited about the attention, thinking it's positive, but it could be turned into something very negative and probably harmful if they're not careful.
Yeah, and
So
that's why what we as an organization try to focus on, like digital literacy, and making sure that like students like all the way from middle school to college are educated about this.
I was just going to ask you, like, what kind of programs or what kind of services does Digital Good provide, you know, for people, so they can, you know, talk a little bit
Um,
about the foundation and, you know, what it is that you guys actually do, like a little more detail, so we can all understand and maybe get some followers and some people to join in and support
mhm.
you.
Yeah, so as an organization, we're called Digital for Good. Our curriculum is called hashtag I Can Help, and we have three aspects to it. So we have I Can Help Lead, which is our student internship program that we have our student interns like myself, and we help create content and curriculum that we teach, which is our I Can Help Educate, which is where we give presentations to different schools, and so it's about like digital literacy, like being a digital first responder, real versus fake. There's a lot of different types that we do, and then we also like do this thing called train the trainer, which is like we train people to go, like, say admin or teachers to go teach their students about this, so that we can reach a broader audience, and then we can make sure that more people are, or more youth are being safe online. And then so our curriculum is, our main thing is like giving presentations to different schools, like mainly middle school and high school, with like like a lot of interactive examples. And like one of the main things we focus on is like being like real versus fake, and like protecting yourself, like like is your account public or private, and in which case would you have each of them, or like that like social media is really your resume for life, because nowadays it's so popular that colleges and jobs and employers check that before like hiring you, because I mean you leave a digital footprint with whatever you do, right? Like if you like a post, even if it's you just like it because you think something is funny, like that's, you're still saying that that's not, that you think it's funny, but it's probably like hurting someone in some way. So like that's something that they look at too, that who are you following and who follows you. So you want to make sure that who's, like, every couple of weeks go through your followers and go through who you're following, and make sure it's like who you want to be and what you want to be associated with.
That is great advice, and I think one of the things that popped out to me, because I know this has happened. I've read stories about college athletes either losing scholarships or not being offered scholarships because of things that they posted on social media in the past. So, to your point, schools do, and athletic directors and coaches and coaching staff and their supportive staff, they do their homework and their due diligence in going in, and because keeping in mind every university and college wants to not only good athletes, but they want to get good people. They have good values and good morals, and one of the best ways to do that is go back and see what they posted on social
Yeah.
media. And to your point about jobs, people have lost. Well, we've seen plenty of videos of people
Mhm.
losing their jobs because of things they've done online. So I think that is a great point.
That kind of goes back to like, if you start on social media really young, like you're not going to think about as much what you post. I mean, you're just gonna, you might even accidentally like something that you didn't want to. And like that's gonna stay with you forever, because even if you like remove a post, it was still there for some amount of time. Someone could have kept a record of it, or screenshotted it or whatever. So it's always gonna be out there somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like you were talking about middle school and high school. I actually think it's be wonderful to get this into universities as well and colleges, because
Mhm.
really, there's so much misinformation, right? And when people get engaged in something and they don't know really what's going on, and they start posting things, I mean, like Antwaun was saying, we've seen a lot of it. And I think it's really important to educate. Like my daughter, had to go through a character and fitness to be sworn in as an attorney. And I mean, besides the FBI checking her out because she works for the government, I mean, they checked her social media, her Instagram. They check everything to see what they're
Mhm.
engaged in, and to see what they're posting, and if they're posting anything negative or threatening towards others, that type of thing. They see that that automatically disqualifies you. So I think it's really important too. Like, how do you take that to the next level with Digital for Good? Because I think educating college students as well, especially they're graduating, right, and they're going to be looking for jobs. And I think it's really important to understand there's it's important to have an opinion. It's important to share your opinion, but there's a way to share it, and there's a way
Yeah.
where it's inappropriate. And I think a lot of I think there's plenty of college students that don't understand that, don't get that concept.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, this is something like you want to like be very mindful. Like, if you take a picture with someone else, you always want to ask for their permission before you post it. And I mean, as a personal opinion, I think like keeping your account on private is a lot safer, like especially for like younger teens and like college students. Unless you're like a public speaker or like some kind of in some kind of industry where like you would need that public account. I think it's like safer to have a private one, just especially when you're starting out, because you don't want like anyone to be able to see your posts.
Yeah, you make I'm not sure if this affects Keith, but I'd welcome you to kind of follow suit what I'm about to say, because as we both work with young people, was a foregone conclusion that a lot of these young people follow us on social media.
Hmm.
And I know that I'm selective in who I follow back. And I've actually had conversations with some of the kids and explained to them, case in point, I don't follow any young people on Facebook because there are some that are on there, but I explained to them why, because it's because of what I do and the platform and what I share. Instagram, TikTok, a little different, but even then, we as coaches and as adults have to be careful because of what the kids are posting. And to your point about, we like us liking certain posts, we have to be careful because somebody goes, hey, why are you liking a kid's post? Well, we know that it's innocent based on what we do, but it's all about perception is another part of that. Now, I'm not sure if Keith has the same thoughts, or I'd love to hear your feedback on that, Keith.
Yeah, I'm very much the same way. Like I have a lot of, when I do a workshop, right? All the students in the workshop want to follow me, and they do, which is great. But I always tell them, I give out my Instagram or I give out my TikTok, and I say to them, listen, don't be insulted. I'm not going to follow you back. It's not because I'm not interested. I work with youth, and I don't want to look like, why am I following all these kids? I mean, it's just, I hate to say it, but unfortunately, in the world we live in,
Yeah.
perception is everything, right? And you don't want to be perceived that way. So I'm very careful. So I totally agree, Antwaun. But you know what the truth is? I'm not connecting with them. I'm not having them follow me for any other reason than I'm going to be posting good content that's going to help them, right? And I
Yeah.
want them to read it, I want them to have access to it. And listen, if they DM me, I will always respond back, and I will have a conversation with them, as long as it's obviously appropriate conversation. But yeah, I would agree with you, Antwaun. 100%.
Yeah. And like on social media, it's like it's may not always be the full picture. Whether it's what you post, like you might just post the good part of something, which is fine. Like if you don't want to share something negative that happened to you. But like you would have to keep in mind that what everyone posts might not be the full truth, or it might only be partial. Like when you're looking into, is this really real? Like, should I believe it?
Oh, I was just going to say one of the, and Antwaun, I'm sure you agree. One of the things I always talk to teens about when we talk about social media is, really understanding, like, when people see people posting all the great things that are going on in their lives, I always try to drive home the point that all the things that are not going great in your life are not going great in their life either. They're just not going to put it up on social media. So when you see somebody's posting all of the wonderful things, it's great that they're having these wonderful experiences, but they're probably struggling too in some way, shape, or form, similar to you, right? And it's important to recognize that and not think that what's up there is just, unicorns and rainbows. Like everybody has a struggle. And quite honestly, as a addendum to this, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. One of the scarier things that I've seen is now I do see people posting sad things, that they're depressed, that they're sad. And then you see cruel comments. I mean, I've seen people comment and say, go do it. Somebody says, I feel like killing myself. And somebody actually comments and says, do it. Right. I've seen that as well. So, it used to be people only posted good, but there are some people that will post their struggles right out there, which, very dangerous, I think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
And yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, like, I applaud the people who like post their struggles out there, because it's so hard to talk about, like if you're going through like depression or something, but you're opening up yourself to all those negative comments, which is just going to worsen the problem. But at the same time, you're opening up to help, like, because then people know what you're going through. They can help you. So it's kind of like it goes both ways. But I like personally, I would rather like I guess I wouldn't post it like on like a public forum where like a lot of people would see it, because if I think those negative comments like would affect you a lot more, like coming from social media, like you don't know who's behind the screen. So like it's like better to, like put it out to like a small group of people who you can get help from, because like of course like share your struggles, like you get help, don't like keep it to yourself, but just be able to make sure that you're not going to make it worse by putting yourself out there for negative comments.
That's a perfect place for private groups, for people to join, to kind of share those things, so that the feedback they're getting is supportive and positive. All of them are, because everybody's in there to hear that. And your point is well taken, that when you just put it out there, you are opening yourselves up. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there, all they want to do is make somebody else's life miserable because theirs is. And typically those are the people that are doing that because something's not good in their life. It's like, well, if I'm not happy, you're not going to be happy. But I think the other thing is to add a lighter side to this, and this is when we talk about people kind of sticking their nose in conversations or posts. I think about the one where people share a touching story, and it's a feel-good story, but inevitably there's always one or 100 that always have to one up the people that are posting. You ever seen those? Somebody's going through something and somebody's like, yeah, well, my so-and-so, and it's almost like, what are you trying to do? Just support it, move on, and not try to one up. If you want to go, hey, I've been through it, I feel your pain, I support you, and that's it. But there's always those that want to one up people. And I think that's just another way of taking some of that support away from some of those posts too. I think about being responsible. If you're going to support them, support them.
And you want to support those people because like it does take a lot of courage to talk about those things, and especially to like put it on social media for a lot of people to see.
Keith was asking about Digital for Good. I just want to go back to that really quick. Can you share with us the impact it's had so far? I mean, I know you told us what it does and what your programs are, but what's the impact been since your time working with them?
And why'd you get involved? Like, what made you get involved?
So for me, I got involved summer before freshman year. So when I was in middle school, I saw I Can Help presentations like throughout all 3 years. Well, 2 years, because like one of them was COVID. I was like, that's when I realized that, like this is important. And then once I found out that there was like an internship, I was already looking for something to do over the summer. So that's how I got involved. And then like after having a conversation with some people, I decided to be on PR because it's more of like going on podcasts. And then we write like blogs and press releases about other students who are doing things for their own communities. For me, like the personal impact it's had is like I've been able to like gain a lot of like professional experience through like our events. So we had like our annual summit in March of this year, which was like one of the best experiences I've ever had. I got to meet like 6 or 7 different teens who had their own organizations, and like they were like amazing. Like I was like mind blown. And like the work that they were doing for their communities, like we got to see that and then like get involved with them and learn from them. And then also like I get to like learn about like all the curriculum we have and like educate myself, which in turn like I can educate my peers and then like other people about digital safety. And then I also got to go speak at a conference with Kim, our executive director, and that was a great experience too. So, and then for me, I think like we also have mentors, which give us like a lot of professional guidance. It's like sometimes like related to like digital safety, but also just like how to like navigate like internships or like getting a job at like this, like between high school and college. So I've also gained a lot from that.
And what about the impact that Antwaun was asking about?
So we've educated over thousands of students about digital literacy and digital safety. We can see that that community is like, they're understanding that, we need to be careful what we post, and then they're spreading more positivity. Like we've seen turnarounds of like negative pages, like schools. Some people have like a negative page of school where they like um, mimic teachers or something. And we've seen with our curriculum, we've seen that turn around and like spreading like positive messages or kind quotes or something like that, just to add to the positive. Yeah. And then we've also been able to help other like teens grow their organizations and partner with us to make the community more positive, as like their goals align with ours.
That's great.
Wow. Yeah. You're doing like adult stuff, girl. You're right. This sounds like she worked for like one of our nonprofits, Keith.
Right.
You know, the kind of
You know
work
what?
you're doing.
Yeah, and I think too, I think it's such an incredible experience, being in high school and being able to, work with people that are doing good work like this in the world. Because truly, I think we raise better adults when we give back to the community. Like Thanksgiving is one of my favorite times of the year, right? Because we always volunteer at like a place for to help feed the homeless, right? Like when you do things, like, doesn't it feel great to give back, right? Like you probably love what you're doing with this organization, because we, as humans, we are naturally wired to feel good when we help others. We don't always think about it that way, but when we actually do it, it feels good, right? So I think it's wonderful that that you're doing this, and the experience you're getting, right, and the contacts you're making. I mean, this is only going to help you, when you get into college and beyond.
Mhm.
So I commend you for doing this and taking it on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we also like we get DMs, like if someone is like cyberbullied or like something negative happens, like they reach out to us and we're able to walk them through like what do you do, like how to report it. And I think it's really nice to see like whenever someone finds like a fake account or like a negative account, they just like put it out in our channel, and then like everyone goes and reports it, and it's down within like minutes. And I think that's just amazing.
Yeah.
That is great. So let me ask you the other end of the spectrum, because whenever there's somebody doing something good, there's always somebody that wants to sabotage it or not be a part of it or talk negatively of it. Have you experienced any negative feedback for Digital for Good based on what your premise and foundation of it is?
Personally, no.
Good.
I haven't seen much. I also like don't my team doesn't work with the social media, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
how that goes. But not as far as I've seen. Most people seem to like take away some good things from our presentations, and they seem to enjoy it.
I just ask it. I mean, that's a good thing, but like I said, there's always somebody who wants to ruin a good thing. There's
Mhm.
somebody doing something good. It's like, well, it's affecting me or whatever. But that's great, though. But I'm sure, like you said, based on what you do, it does affect you personally, which is good. And to Keith's point too, is you have probably done more before your junior year than a lot of kids will do their entire high school careers, based on your commitment to what you've done with Digital for Good. Honestly, and we personally, both of us, applaud you, and we can tell just by not only having you on for a second time, but just the information you share with us. You care about your generation, and you want to make sure that everybody's safe. And we definitely encourage more people to do what you're doing, which is speak up and be a part of something positive and making a positive change. So
Mhm.
I don't know, Keith, I think she might be the celebrity of this episode, not you and I.
For sure.
No, you guys are definitely the celebrity.
No, we appreciate. Oh, by the way, I was going to go back to what you were talking about on Instagram, people getting their blue check marks and stuff. Keith and I got
Oh,
to work on. We got to work on getting ours next. We don't
I
have
wish I
ours
did.
yet.
I don't know if I'm going to be that famous.
I don't
I
think
like,
I
I
want to
like,
get that famous.
yeah, I like working. I like doing the work from behind the scenes. I don't need to be famous.
Yeah. I don't want to be out front. I think like you, Anvita, we all do work from behind the scenes because we get to see the results and we get to sit back and watch people do well. And you're an example of a young person that we both look forward to following. And we definitely encourage you to keep doing what you're doing and share with us and keep us posted. And we want to have some of your colleagues on too. You can come
yes.
back with them too. You're always welcome. All you got to do is reach out, send an email. I want to come back on, and you're always welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for being back and for
Yes,
sharing
thank
more
you.
about the organization. I think it's a great
Thank you
organization.
for having me.
Oh, absolutely. It is our pleasure. Any words of encouragement about digital safety that you would like to leave your generation of young people and keeping them safe online?
Just that if you like see something negative, like make sure you inform. So these are like the steps we tell students to take. So like inform like a trusted adult about anything you think is not good, and then make sure you report it and or block it depending on how it is. And then just post like positive, respectful stuff, and like don't like make negative comments, and then just check who you're following and make sure they're like positive accounts. Like there's so many people out there who just like post like daily advice or just a quote to like make your day.
Mr. Keith?
I'm good. I didn't know if we have to put her through the lightning round again because I know she's
No,
been
we're not gonna put her through the lightning round unless you want some lightning round questions. We can give you some. Let's do this. What is your favorite season? What's your favorite holiday,
Oh, probably Christmas.
and why is that? Because you get presents.
No, because I like usually because like that's when like we see family and stuff.
Okay, all right.
What's one of the questions you've asked? What is one of the bravest things you've ever done?
Bravest things. Oh, probably just like I cold emailed like a lot of different podcasters, and like I was so scared to do it because I was like, like I'm like not like I'm still a high school student. Like, what are they gonna like think of me?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
And
a
then
good one.
That's actually a good one. I was going to say, if you were still having trouble thinking, I was going to say it could be something as simple as, going on a podcast. Because some people, that's like really not good with publics. Like that, there's people that would rather die than have to public speak.
yeah,
So I think that's
Yeah.
actually a good one, cold calling, because I've been in sales and I don't like cold calling people either or emailing. So I get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I should like public speaking. Like, I think it's like a good experience and exposure.
Yeah, I agree.
So along those lines, what you said that was one of the most challenging things you've done. What made you decide to go through with that challenge?
I mean, it was like part of my responsibilities, and I was like, I just have to do it. Like, worst case, like I'm not gonna get a response, or they're gonna say no. Um,
There you go. Right, and then it probably you feel sad, but guess what? You move on to the next one, right?
yeah.
And I've been on some now that you say that. If you're looking to get on some more, you let me know because I'll be happy to send your name out to some people that would probably love to have you on. Because I've had this
Oh,
couple
that'd
of
be great.
really great. Yeah, I definitely would. Honestly, I will definitely do that, and I'll email you and keep you in the loop on that. But yeah, let's see. I'm going to give you one more good one before you go because we got your favorite holiday. Keith got your thought-provoking question. So we're going to end it on what is your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie? I don't know if this really counts as a movie, but the new series that just came out on Netflix, it's called All the Light We Cannot See. It's based on the book. It's like a 4 series, like a 4 episode series. So I guess it's kind of like a movie. I really like that because I love the book too.
Well, again, Anvita, we appreciate having you back on. And of course, you, like I said, you're welcome to come back. So we'll expect to see you and find out more about what you're doing with Digital for Good. Hashtag I can help. I am Coach T, and I don't have any words of encouragement because Anvita is giving some great advice to all of you young people out there and parents as well about how to be safe online.
And I'm Coach Keith, and I don't have to give words of encouragement, but I will just say, do not give the keys to your happiness to someone else, and don't let somebody else drive your car. Because if you don't like where they're going, that's your fault.
Amen to that. I like that, my man. I like that. And with that, we are out. We will see you in our next episode. And thank you all so much for listening. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Are you looking for an experienced youth empowerment and leadership coach to help your teenager find their true north? Look no further. Let Coach Keith and Coach T show you how, through education, support, and inspiration. Visit their websites. ShiftYourPower.com and CoachTScorner.com, respectively, to learn more about the services they offer and to book a session today.